All right, guys, another video from the Lex Friedman podcast series, right? And basically, now they're going to talk about why Pavel Durov doesn't use a phone, right? So I think all of us could use some help cutting down on the phone screen time, right? We're always scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, right?
Majority of the population become slaves to the AI recommender systems, AI driven recommender systems. And so the content everybody's fed is the same thing, and we all become the same. On that point, one of the different things you do is you don't use a phone, except occasionally to test Telegram features. But I've been with you for 2 weeks. I haven't seen you use a phone at all in the way that most people use a phone, like for their social media. So, can you describe your philosophy behind that?
I don't think a phone is a necessary device.
So that's pretty interesting, right? Tech CEOs saying that a phone is not a necessary device.
I remember growing up, I didn't have a mobile phone. When I was a student at the university, I didn't have a mobile phone. When I finally got it to use a mobile phone, I never used phone calls. I was always in airplane mode or mute. I hated the idea of being disturbed. My philosophy here is pretty simple. I want to define what is important in my life. I don't want other people or companies, all kinds of organizations telling me what is important today, and what I should be thinking about. Just set up your own agenda, and the phone gets in your way.
It provides distractions. It guides what you should be looking at, what you will be looking at. So you don't want that. You want to quiet the mind. You want to choose what kind of stuff you let inside your mind.
Yes, because this way I can contribute to the progress of society, or at least I like to think this way, and this makes me happier.
How often do you find quiet time to just think and focus deeply on work without any distractions? You mentioned to me that you value quiet mornings.
Yes. So the thing I'm trying to do, I try to allocate as much time as possible for sleep. Now, even if
Before that point gets lost on us, right? I think a lot of us could benefit from what Lex Friedman just said, right? Oftentimes I find my best ideas and also thinking time to be times where I'm doing absolutely nothing, right? I'm just like walking in my neighborhood or something. That's where ideas and inspiration comes to me, right? And I think a lot of people have all these thoughts and also ideas, but we're too busy staring at the phone or also like doing menial tasks, right? That we don't actually have enough time to think.
I allocate, say, 11 or 12 hours for sleep, I won't sleep for 11 or 12 hours. So what I end up doing is I end up lying in bed thinking. And some people hate it. They say, "Oh, you have to take a sleeping pill," but I never take pills. I love these moments. I get so many brilliant ideas, or at least they seem brilliant to me at the moment, while I'm lying in bed, either late in the evening or early in the morning. That's my favorite time of the day. Sometimes I wake up, I go take a shower, still without a phone. Beautiful ideas can come to you while you're doing your morning exercise, your morning routine, without a phone. If you open your phone first thing in the morning, what you end up being is a creature that is told what to think about for the rest of the day. Same is true in a way if you've been consuming news from social media late at night. But then, how do you define what is important and what you really want to become in life? Now, I'm not saying you have to completely stay away from all sources of information, but take some time to think about what's really important for you and what you want to change in this world.
So you definitely try to avoid.
I think I'm gonna implement what Pavel Durov just said, right? I think probably gonna try to stay away from my phone at least for the first hour after I wake up, right? And try not to go on like Instagram and Facebook. Try to cut that down, right? So I'm gonna try to implement this in the next few weeks.
Digital devices for as many hours as possible in the morning. just to have the quiet thinking time, plus the crazy amounts of push-ups and
I know,
squats.
I know it's kind of counterintuitive because I founded one of the largest social networks in the world, after which I founded the second largest messaging app in the world, and you're supposed to be really connected. But the conclusion you reach very early is that the more connected and accessible you are, the less productive you are. And then how can you run this thing if you're constantly bombarded by all kinds of information, most of which is irrelevant to the success of what you're trying to build? You know, the entire world can be fascinated by a fight, a quarrel between the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man. But for the vast majority of these people following this saga, it's irrelevant. It won't change their lives. And in any case, they can't affect it. So it's a bit pointless. Of course, there are.
All right. I think the big takeaway from here is number one, think for yourself, right? Don't just like follow what the news is. And number two, right? What he just mentioned is very, very important. We want to start to focus on the things that we can change about our lives, right? Not politics, not celebrities or whatever it is, right? Because those, no matter how much opinion you have on those, it doesn't change the outcome of that thing, right? I think that's what he's trying to say, right? And he's the last point is, the more connected you are, the less productive you are. And I think his message over there is because like people are always like WhatsApping a lot of irrelevant stuff, right? We're just talking about like just just funny memes or whatever it is, right? So what he's saying is try to cut down on that. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to share in this video. I am cutting this podcast into more manageable bite-sized videos, right? 5 to 10 minutes each video, because this is a 4.5 hours video, right? I don't think it's very easy for people to digest. So if you're interested in that, of course, hit the subscribe and also the bell button. With that being said, have a fantastic day ahead and peace out.